Hey there, folks. Welcome to a special extra version of The Score, where we are discussing the whole E3 roundup. We're going to start with a discussion about Bethesda, maybe a little bit of, the other third parties, but probably not, mostly Bethesda. And then we're going to delve into Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Joining me are TaintedKane.
Hello there, folks.
And Ninja Jordan.
Hiya.
Who refuses to be on camera because he's a scrub.
I'm busy right now, doing ninja things.
Rub-a-dub scrub.
I can take some time to talk, but, some of us got work to do, guys.
Well, you're a very good multitasker. And I appreciate your presence, at least.
Hey, man. Happy to be here.
So, let's get started with a little bit of discussion about Bethesda. We don't have a lot of time. But they didn't have a lot to show. Last year, if I understand, was the first year they had their own conference. And it was because of Fallout 4, basically. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just...
They showed Fallout 4, they announced Dishonored 2.
And Doom.
Yeah, they announced Doom, they announced the Elder Scrolls card game thing. And we saw a little bit more of all that stuff this time around.
But the point is that, they had something huge to show off. And so everyone, I think, assumed that because they were back, they were going to have something equally huge. And they pretty much just had Elder Scrolls Remastered. Or Skyrim Remastered.
They had Prey, and I feel like that's marginally huge.
I think they had a better showing this year, actually, because they had Prey, a reboot of Prey. They also showed off a lot of Dishonored, which is their big holiday game this year. And
that's true. Dishonored does look pretty good.
And they started off with Quake. Like, they announced they're making a new Quake game.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually totally forgot about Quake. Like, I used to love Quake as a kid, but I just completely forgot they announced that.
I've never played a Quake game before, so, I just hear stories about it, so I'm excited to, get my teeth sunk into one, finally.
I played one on, I believe it was the original Xbox. It's the one that had, one of the gameplay modes was, a train heist. One team was attacking, the other team was defending, and that was freaking awesome.
Sounds awesome.
It plays. You know what it used to play like? It used to play like what Doom plays like now. It was just mindless, fast-paced action.
Yeah, I
really
assume it would. Yeah.
There was times when I would spawn in and immediately die.
Am I the only one who thought when I first saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, so Bethesda's making an Overwatch now?"
I was thinking they're gonna make a MOBA.
Yeah, everyone's just getting one of these out now. Apparently,
it's called Quake Champions, which sounds very MOBA-ish.
Yeah, it looks very hero-based.
It's hero-based, yeah.
Overwatch.
But yeah, since they said it's an arena game, I'm just thinking, Overwatch.
I mean, yeah, honestly, it's a good time for those arena shooters, and Quake was, the first one. Quake and Unreal really kind of started the trend, and then they both went away, and all these new ones have been coming out, so why not bring back Quake?
I would love to see Quake take it back,
Oh, yeah. I used to play the crap out of Quake 3 Arena, on Dreamcast and on PC. And then they made Quake Online. That was a free browser game, but it never worked that well, so I kind of gave up on it. But I want more Quake. I didn't even think about that.
That's until next year when Valve unleashes Team Fortress 3.
They don't do threes.
That's right. They can't count to 3.
It'll be Team Fortress 2.5D.
Can you imagine though? They would just swoop in like a hawk and just steal the whole thing.
Team Fortress 2, Episode 1.
Yeah.
1 and 2. Never got a 3.
But yeah, that's really all I want to discuss, was just kind of how it was weird that Bethesda did a conference, but it was still nice.
You know what? They had a decent amount of stuff. What they showed looked good. I feel like it built a lot of confidence in the audience, especially for Dishonored 2. But I mean, Dishonored 1 was really good and really well received, so I don't know why they needed to feel like they felt the need to build more, if they even did. But they're pushing mobile stuff. I like that they're actually trying to make Fallout Shelter into a game now. They're adding more into it. But I also think it's kind of hilarious that they're now just putting Fallout Shelter into Fallout. It's just showing up in 4. Oh, build your own vaults, fill it full of people. Where have I seen that before?
Yeah.
But I mean that's basically it. I mean, I don't know. I'm sad. I'm also kind of sad that Prey 2 never happened, because I was actually looking forward to this supposed big open world sci-fi RPG that they were doing that looked really grim and gritty.
Yeah, it looked like Blade Runner.
And yeah, exactly. And that's just not happening. It's okay, it's just whatever.
Yeah, it's happens with the development struggles and stuff like that. But this new one looks very interesting, like a horror sci-fi game, psychological
Yes,
thriller, which sounds pretty cool.
I'm definitely looking forward to it though. Like I really am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just as a final note, I know we'd probably get angry comments if we didn't mention, Skyrim Remastered. But I feel
whatever.
like, especially on PC, there's no reason for it to exist because it already looks that good.
There isn't.
I've already played that game.
Yeah, I did. I know. I already sank 160 hours into it, and it's DLC. Like, I'm done with it. It's cool.
Yeah, and especially the fact that they said, like, if you already own the game in the DLC, you get it for free. Like, oh, thanks. That's going to help me play it more.
Yeah, exactly.
When they did the side-by-side images, I really didn't see too much of a difference.
No, right? Like it's like a lot of those games. It's kind of like the way Twilight Princess does it. Like those textures are bad, and you can't just make them appear smoother, and somehow that's gonna fix it. Like they're still gonna be bad.
You can throw some bloom on it, though.
Well, yeah.
Just give more mist.
Mist and blue.
Just mist everything.
But let's move on to Microsoft because we've dwelled too much on the people that don't matter.
I liked Call of Duty.
Really?
I liked how Call of Duty looked more like the Star Fox game that I wanted than what Star Fox actually was.
Shade.
Are we looking at the same game here?
Star Fox or
Star Fox?
Star Fox? Yeah.
Call of Duty
Maybe.
in
Are you
space?
looking at a copy of Star Fox 64? Because then we would be looking at the same game. No, Infinite Wars. The one that started in space, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it's still a first person. It's not a freaking space shooter.
I don't care. But, okay, well,
It's a little bit of a space shooter.
Therein
They always
lies the joke.
They always
Star
have
Fox
one
Zero
section
suckballs.
where you're in a jet or something and you shoot at stuff. There is always that.
You know what? Actually, Tom, I made that exact same joke after we watched the video. I was like, "How much you want to bet that's the first level, and the rest of the game is set on Earth?"
Huh.
There's
Yeah.
no
I don't know, but you know what? Hopefully, because I got excited last year too for Black Ops 3 because I saw like mech suits and magic powers and guys like doing parkour and teleporting, and I was like, "All right, I can get behind this." If you make Call of Duty a space shooter, I can get into it. If you're gonna make it terrible, I mean, don't.
I said this before, but what I really want from Call of Duty is for them to just go off the deep end and just go into Crazy Town with like Kojima style, like Kojima level.
Oh, like yeah, just make it like Metal Gear.
Yeah, just make it like
Guys controlling bees.
Yeah, exactly. Just make it insane.
Bees?
Not the bees.
The bees. They're in my eyes.
But like they're big enough to do that. People will still buy it and think it's all right if they get that shooting down because that's what they're there for, is that shooting.
See, I think they would have been smarter to go back in time before EA did, like, because that's what it needed. It didn't need to keep going forward. It should have gone backwards in time because like so much of modern shooters are dominated by just like the same boring present day military shooter. It's like we kind of forgot that World War II was a kick-ass era for like shooters.
Yeah, because America was the good guys.
Yeah, do you remember when Call of Duty used to be like historically accurate shooter games?
Yeah, they used to do that.
And that's
Pepperidge
when they were
Farm
the most
remembers.
fun.
I think Battlefield 1 looks like fun, but it doesn't look different. Like it looks different because it's like a skin on it, but it's still like the same type of game.
No, and I think you're going to be very right about that.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Like I don't have anything against Battlefield. I love playing Battlefield games.
I do too.
And I haven't played one in a while, so I think I might be interested in this one.
I have something against the name.
Battlefield
Does that
1,
count?
the one
Yeah.
Battlefield to rule them all.
They should call it,
Battlefield 1 on
Battlefield
Xbox One.
1882 or something.
So confusing.
The next one will be Battlefield 2.
This is
On
now
the
you're gonna have to
Xbox
refer to this
720.
one as Battlefield 1 2015.
Yep.
Duh. But no, little side tangent real quick. That's really been bothering me lately, is all of these titles coming out with like names that aren't original.
Like God of War.
Battlefield 1, there was one of those already.
God
God
of War.
of War, no
Yeah.
subtitle. There was one of those already. Doom.
Yeah,
Like all
yeah.
of these things that are just like the title of the series. That doesn't.
Justin, I will give Doom a pass because it went back to basics in its gameplay, so the name it's sort of accurate.
I stopped being mad at that kind of stuff because they've been doing it for years, and we just refer to it as the year number. So I'm just like, this is
I know
this is video games, man. Like, what are you gonna
It's
do?
still BS. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
It seems unoriginal to me. That's all. I like subtitles. I'm a big when they we'll get back to it, but when they announced the Zelda subtitle, I was like, Eee!
Oh, you know what? See, I went the opposite way. When I thought it was going to be just The Legend of Zelda, I got excited because I'm like, wait a minute, are they actually trying to reboot the Legend of Zelda, like going back to grassroots, making it kind of like an exploration game and like making it more about finding stuff as opposed to just fighting stuff? And like that got me excited. When they put out the subtitle, I was like, oh, boo.
Yeah, and again, I wouldn't have minded that in this case because it does feel very much like the original. But I really like subtitles, and like a subtitle can tell you a lot about a game creatively. Like especially with the old Zelda games, it was very much about like an item or a person or something like that. But like, again, we're not going to talk on this too long. But like Breath of the Wild, it just sounds so like artistic.
Isn't it the wind?
No, it's Breath of the Wild.
Is it the Wild?
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild.
Shit.
And it sounds majestic.
They want to stress the wildness of the landscape.
This game is so wild, guys.
Oh yeah, it's totally wild.
Yeah, anyway, that Microsoft conference.
Yeah. What else? What else happened? Gears of War 3. I mean,
4.
4.
Yes. I mean, there you go. They all look the goddamn
Gears of War
same.
3 remaster, probably.
I really liked the look of 4. Like I play those games all the time with my dad. Like every new one that comes out, I play them with my dad. So I'm actually looking forward to this one. And Alcoholic, the Marcus looks pretty cool.
Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on it like too much. Obviously it's all in jest because I did quite enjoy the Gears of War series.
It looks like it's going to be a good one. Like the last one was kind of meh, like Judgment.
They've all been solid. Like there's not like there has been a bad one.
Yeah, well, Judgment was a little bit off that path of good game, but
I've heard very mixed reviews about Judgment.
yeah, it was okay. It was a
existed.
Gears game, but it wasn't like at the same tier.
I felt in general Microsoft does a lot of like sequels and just kind of generic showings. I'm still super excited for ReCore.
Really?
And like the idea of the
ReCore looks
Xbox
cool.
Anywhere platform means that like I don't have to get an Xbox to get the like few games I actually care about, which is super exciting.
I was seeing that ReCore trailer during the conference, and I don't know, something about the animation and the way they move. It kind of looks a little janky to me. And I feel
I'm
like
not a huge fan of the graphic style. I'll admit that. But like the way it plays is so cool. Like it's very puzzly. It looks like a third-person Metroid game.
It looks like a third-person like generic action adventure game. Like
I don't know. It reminded me.
Your opinion doesn't matter, Thomas.
it's my opinion. Leave me alone.
I see where he's coming from. It reminded me of something that like Rare would have done back in the day, and that kind of got me a little excited.
Yeah, that's the thing. I never played a '90s Rare game.
Oh, dude,
it's like a mix
did you play Star Fox Adventures?
And like
no,
like
Oh,
Perfect
you missed
Dark
out, bro.
or that other one.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember what it's called. The one with bugs.
Cameo.
No, but
Kamehameha?
that's another good option.
Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah. See? I know what
It's
Rare
like
dude.
Jet Force
Love those
Gemini
guys
and
back in
Metroid
the day.
Prime, but like that's not a bad description at all.
yeah. And
No, I think that works.
I was really into the Dead Rising show that they showed.
Yes, I love seeing it. Frank's back.
Frank's back.
I
It's
love it.
Christmas time.
Yes.
Holiday cheer.
Oh man. And
It
now
looks like
I
Return
know
to
exactly
Form.
what I
just-
can
didn't
use
care
for.
about 3, so I don't know, it's hard to
I've
care
been
again.
I like all those Dead Rising games.
Yeah, I didn't play any of 3, obviously because I don't have an Xbox One, but I actually enjoy Dead Rising 1 more now because I'm actually like more aware, because I didn't realize it when I first played it that Frank is a journalist, and I was like, hey,
He's covered wars, you know.
I know. And I was like, one day I'm gonna cover Wars 2.
There was
Console
okay.
wars.
Have you guys seen the Dead Rising movies?
No.
There's
They're
two
on
movies.
Crackle.
Things. Yeah, Rob Riggle plays Frank.
I haven't seen
Which is
them,
good
but
casting, honestly.
the second
Oh, it's perfect.
the second one actually looks like a decent movie. The first one, I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
I gotta dig them up. I've heard things, most of them negative.
I bet they're like real good bad movies to watch.
Oh, I have no doubt in my mind.
But yeah, anything more on Microsoft?
Halo Wars.
Oh yeah.
Do we care about Halo Wars?
No.
Okay, moving on.
They literally
Sony.
are giving away the first Halo Wars with the second one because they want people to care about Halo Wars.
Yeah, because no one fucking played it.
What I did like about that,
I don't think it was even poorly received either. I think it got okay reviews.
what I did like about the conference is that that they're coming to PC as well. Since I'm more of a PC guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's gonna be exciting
thing-
to have
see-
them on PC now.
The only thing that makes me skeptical about that, I know I gotta be Captain Bring Down over here, but like Windows games for Windows isn't a great platform, and I
It doesn't.
hate to
That's
see
because it doesn't exist. It's Windows 10, isn't it? It's not games for Windows anymore.
Yeah, it's just on the store.
but is it? Oh, I thought it was still called like
No, games for Windows closed
Oh,
down, man.
Oh, what the
That was like back
am I
with
thinking
Windows
about?
Media Center and
Okay,
stuff.
I don't know. It's the new gaming platform for Windows 10. You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Origin?
If you don't, Google
Origin.
it. It's just like I gotta look this up because I could have
You-
sworn.
you
it
mean
was, like,
Uplay?
like Windows 10's.
No,
No, that's
That's
Ubisoft.
we never talk about Uplay.
I thought it was just the Windows 10 store. Like, I've got a few games on there from when I had a Surface tablet.
Or maybe it's like games for Windows 10 or something. I know it's like a new platform.
I think it's just
And
Windows Store or something like that.
Yeah, it's just the Windows store. Like, I can pull it up right
Either
now.
way,
'cause my computer's
it's
on
very
Windows 10 for some
restrictive to
reason.
developers, and I hate to see like more like Xbox properties going to a restrictive service.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care because I'm on PC all the time.
I also just don't want
Well-
an Xbox One. Like, my brother has one. And I
have
told him
one in
about
the
State of
family
Decay
room.
2 because he loved the first one and I want to play it with him now that it's multiplayer. But, like, that's the only thing I care about an Xbox One for, is playing stuff with him. I don't want one.
Yeah.
But I do
me-
want a few games. Final notes, I guess. I did think it was dumb. Like, this is something we're probably going to back to, but I did think it was dumb that they have, or will have, 3 versions of the Xbox console. You know, the regular Xbox One, the Slim, and then, like, Scorpio, like the beefy one. That will all be out at market, like, by next year. That's kind of confusing to the consumer. Thoughts?
I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because
but like,
I feel like by the time Scorpio comes around, they'll get rid of the original Xbox and you'll just have the
yeah,
S.
exactly.
And then you'll just have the S and then the beefier one, which is like it actually looks kind of decent with all the specs and as well as
It's got
Fallout 4
all the
VR is coming to
gigaflops.
it.
I don't care
And-
about VR.
Oh.
We're gonna end on just general thoughts, and I'll share some stuff about VR, but I do not care about VR.
I think Fallout VR will be kind of cool, but I'm not the consumer for that because I don't have the money.
Yeah,
My feelings towards Fallout 4 are widely known. I don't think VR is going to make a terrible game any better. Probably make it worse, in my opinion.
ouch.
I think it's all
But I
right.
will say the Xbox Slim looks beautiful. Like, it's very sleek. It's got some nice vents on it. Like, it's a pretty console.
Yeah,
That is actually one thing that keeps you from getting the Xbox One too, is that it's a fucking cinder block, and I have nowhere to put that on any of my shelves.
yeah.
But the Slim is a lot
The S looks awesome. It's got Bluetooth controllers now, so it's pretty sweet.
Oh, that is good.
You can customize your controllers. Like if I had the cash for that, I would totally make my own customized controller.
That's cool and all, but I mean, it's aesthetic.
Yeah, the design lab is super cool. I like that a lot.
I mean, why you gotta pay all that money to get a custom design? Go to buy a screwdriver, take the plate off, buy a can of spray paint at $5.
It's not the same.
You know what I mean? Done.
It's not the same.
It's 100% the same, you guys.
Yeah, when you do it yourself, and you probably get more satisfaction from that.
Exactly.
I always
I
get
see
more
people who put like
satisfaction when I
LED
do it
lights and shit. I
myself.
see people who made like hardwood ones. Come on.
Callie,
It looks cool.
It's like
I
$10
don't know. I
off.
think it still looks cool. Like you could just even go on the site and fuck around and like just design controllers.
It's more fun than anything on Xbox.
you don't have to
One
buy
right
any.
now.
Why buy an Xbox One when you can just play with the controller creator?
They could release that as a disc game, Xbox One controller customizer
Killer app.
simulator.
The best thing to come to a system since the UMDs on... Wait, UMD?
On the PSP?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that the acronym?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Universal
Media disc.
There you go.
There you go.
It didn't sound right. I kept thinking of WMDs.
I was gonna say like mice doors.
I was about to say like ultimate.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of UMDs,
yeah,
nice
and Sony.
accidental segue. Let's move on to Sony.
Did you see all those UMDs on Sony's press conference? They're bringing them back.
Yeah, man.
They would have to care about
they
the
were
V there
hanging
to
from
do
the
that.
ceiling. Man, Sony, they rocked it, man. They didn't waste any fucking time. They got right out the gate. Game. Hey, here's Hideo Kojima. Game. Like,
And a lot of exclusives. Xbox was all about like, all of our games are going to PC, and Sony was like, if you don't buy a PS4, you suck.
And I tweeted this right after. I was like, you know what? Recklessly buying a PlayStation 4 exclusively for the PT demo was probably the smartest decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
Like, that new Kojima game looks freaking weird.
You don't know anything about it, but it looks weird.
I know, but I saw old men floating in the sky, and Norman Reedus had a baby, and he had a C-section, and then there was handcuffs, and then the baby disappeared. So I'm excited. That already makes me go, I want to play this.
Full disclosure, I didn't actually watch that trailer yet because I just kind of forgot. But I sent it to my fiance, telling her that she would find it funny, and she's like, "What did I just watch?
Why is that funny?"
She's seen it and I haven't, but I've heard it's crazy.
Nude Norman Reedus simulator.
Yeah, I actually don't think that the Sony conference was like a knockout of the park. I thought it was all right.
Really?
Like just okay.
God of War looks awesome.
Yeah, God of War looks awesome. Like I think
total shift in tone with that game.
Shitty Kratos being a dick to his kid.
He's a dick to everyone.
He was not being that big of a dick. Okay, yeah, he started
totally
yelling,
is.
but he quickly stopped. Like old Kratos would have thrown that kid down a well. Okay, new Kratos was like, okay, I'm angry, but I'm gonna try. I'm a good dude.
Yeah,
You
I
know
think
what I mean? He pushed it down.
It's a
He wanted to
process.
touch that kid on the shoulder. He was so conflicted.
Yeah, I think this new God of War is going to be cool. Like it's
The Last of
it's
Us.
completely changed from the old one, and I think the old one just like you can't do that kind of gameplay anymore, with just mashing.
I think you can, but because they did it on the PlayStation 3, right? And it worked. But like this is just a totally different game from the ground up. It wouldn't like befit the kind of gameplay that came with old God of War.
And they did that with Ascension, and it didn't work. So I think
Yeah,
they realized
Ascension
after
was-
Ascension failed that they need to do something new.
I definitely agreed.
Which, to be fair, Ascension didn't fail because of the God of War mechanics. It failed because it wasn't a good version of God of War. But that's beside the point. They needed something new if they're going to bring the series back. And it's clearly like a reboot.
Exactly like this. I don't know if it's a reboot. I think it's still a continuation.
But it's freaking just called God of War.
You know what? If it was a continuation, I'd be fine with it, except for the title.
All the Greek gods are dead, so now Kratos is going after the Norse gods. Then he's going to go after like the Catholic god,
which I love because Norse mythology is like one of the coolest.
Oh, I know.
So like, I really want this game.
Or
Also-
that or Egyptian. I think Egyptians have cool.
Also,
gods.
he has like magic powers. He can pull that axe, like Loki.
yeah.
He's Loki. Or not
That's what
Loki.
I'm wondering. What's
Thor.
going on?
He probably like stole like the god's powers.
Yeah.
Because my initial thought too was that maybe it was just a different guy. Like maybe it was a reboot, and this is some new guy who made some deal with the Norse gods, and now he has like the same markings that Kratos had. Like it's something that gets
maybe
passed
it's not
on to the person who
Kratos. Maybe
does
it's Thor. That looks like
Thortos.
Kratos.
Thortos.
and sounds exactly like him.
Kotor. That's his name. Justin, have you seen anything with that Spider-Man game or no?
I forgot to talk about that. Thank you. Man. No, there actually wasn't much. That's why I meant to talk about it, but there wasn't really much to say. But like, I'm super excited because it's Insomniac.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's the new Spider-Man game, which could be hit or miss, but it's Insomniac, so I guarantee it's going to be good.
If it plays anything like Spider-Man 2, the movie game, then we're fine.
See, I think it's going to be like a mix between like the Amazing Spider-Man game, which was a good, swinging game, even if the story was kind of sucked and it was kind of glitchy, and like probably Spider-Man 2 because it looks open
Web
world.
of Shadows.
Yeah.
I hear Web of Shadows.
I never played Web of
Okay.
Shadows.
I
I heard it was good.
The last really good Spider-Man game that I played was Ultimate Spider-Man, where you got to play as Venom too. Fucking awesome
I
game.
really
Was that
liked
the cel-shaded
Amazing
one?
Spider-Man, So
Yes.
Yeah,
it
that was pretty
great.
decent. Like I like that one.
that one was
good.
fun. It was kind of like silly, like it was a little easy and just
Yeah.
kinda,
Well, I liked it a lot because it did really intuitive things, like sort of on its own with like how Spider-Man moved, and that's one thing that always like I look for in a Spider-Man game is like how he moves, like the contortions of his body, like making him the really like acrobatic character that he is.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked most about the new trailers, that like he's flipping off poles and doing these crazy spins and shit. Like he looks like Spider-Man.
Yeah. When he's in the
It
office,
looks really
there and flipping
fluid. Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
The animation
hate
looks
the
really
suit.
good. Yeah. The suit
No,
looks
that's
really
like, I'm so
stupid.
I don't know. I'm okay with the suit, kind of. It's like I don't hate it, but it's like whatever. I like that it's doing like the motive eyes like from Civil War.
Yeah, like all the thumbnails and stuff I saw from it, because I didn't get to watch the Sony conference when it was happening. But like I saw, articles and stuff, and like they all showed like the face mask with the eyes, and I was like, oh, it's a Spider-Man Homecoming movie game.
That's what I.
And then I watched the
too.
trailer,
Maybe it'll tie it into it,
and it was like that mask, but this weird like white symbol and like white gloves, and like it was so bright.
Yeah.
He's always been like predominantly
great.
red and blue or black, with
I know,
accents
like,
of
they
white.
need-
Well, this is going to be a
Color,
Spider-Man game, so hopefully you can just switch costumes.
That's the theory.
Yeah, that's it.
And especially since it's
Learning the
Insomniac,
game
even in Ratchet
industry.
and Clank, you can like switch what Ratchet looks like and stuff. So
Yeah.
And then what else? What else was that?
They
Oh yeah,
showed a-
Crash Bandicoot.
Well, who cares about Crash?
Barely.
I kind of do. I like Crash.
barely Crash.
I never played it because I never had a. I was a Nintendo boy growing up.
I was a PC guy, so I never played Crash growing up. I'll buy the remasters because I just want to check it out. But
It's a
don't know.
piece of gaming history, right?
It's in
I played the first
Skylanders.
world of the first one and then got mad
Yeah.
on the boss and quit. And then went
And
back
plus,
to
and they did do that. They did do that sneaky tease in in Uncharted. So like, maybe he's coming back. Maybe we'll see a new Crash
They're
game. at
teasing
some
it for
point.
Skylanders.
To get back to the point
like-
of remasters, that's my theory, is a lot of these remasters come out to see popularity. Like,
I think
they'll
so, too.
put out the Crash games remastered and see if there's an audience for them. And if there is, they'll make a new Crash game. If they don't
Well,
sell,
fun
then what's the point? There's no audience for that game. It's been like 10
Fun
years.
fact, Justin. Fun fact, Justin.
Yes.
You know that beloved Star Wars game, Shadows of the Empire,
No, but continue.
Yes.
on the N64.
On the PC.
On the N64.
PC.
N64. Anyway, that game is actually the reason we got 3 shitty prequel movies, because LucasArts put that out to gauge if like young adults were still interested in Star Wars, and it sold like gangbusters. So they said, "Hey, let's make 3 more movies."
But those 3 terrible movies were the reason that Star Wars came back into popularity, and now we actually have some good properties from the franchise.
It just took us a
So-
long time to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we had to go through that gauntlet, I feel
It's
like
worth it.
that could have gone a different way, and in like an alternate universe, Shadows of the Empire sold like gangbusters, and then that universe got 3 really good Star Wars movies,
Maybe.
and then Star Wars just kept being good.
And then there was
And
another
then Hayden
dimension.
Christensen never became famous and was just like a janitor or something.
And then there was another dimension where it didn't sell, and then we had no more Star Wars ever.
Star Wars just disappeared.
That would be the saddest thing ever.
like Marty McFly. He just disappeared
Just
from reality.
fades out. Yeah, these VR games. They're mostly just experiences. Like I can't get excited about that. It's just like put it on and look around.
As someone who is like didn't really buy into VR and then tried the HTC Vive, like I'm excited, man. I feel like I can see the potential in a game like the Star Wars thing in VR. Like if they do something like you're just in an X-wing and you control it and fly around, that could be really cool.
Yeah, I think
Like
they're
the Batman one, I don't get.
Yeah,
It's like-
there's some that I don't get. I think like they're cool if you go and check them out, but it's not cool to buy them. You know what I mean?
Well, I get the feeling that like
like
maybe.
I don't know if
It
they're gonna
dep-
charge for those like $2, $5 each.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It would have to depend on the price point because I'm a big proponent of VR because I feel like VR is kind of ushering in the like next era of the arcade. Like we lost arcades, and I feel like VR is bringing them back with these kind of like they're games that like involve you physically as a player, and they're kind of more like little experiences as opposed to like big fiasco-esque games. And I'm okay with that. Like if it only costs me $1, that's fine. I'll pay $1 for, the X-Wing experience VR thing where you're just shooting up the Death Star.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see, and
that's
on that
I'm
note,
okay with
like,
that.
if arcades became just like a place you went into and like went into a VR booth,
We need,
where
guys,
everything's set up for you and you just play the game that's available, that's fine. But I don't see the point in paying $400 for something that's basically just a demo player.
Yeah.
Well, then, because then we don't know. We don't know how it's. We need that stuff to like help advance the market, right?
Guys.
Like we need a little bit of those demos before we can say, okay, here's what we know we can do. Now we can make like big, full experiences with because that's kind of what Kinect did, right? It failed, but it tried it. It started off making these stupid little demos, and then actually tried to pull out like real game experiences.
Guys, our next boom will be Varcade. Get on that. Get on that, guys.
Actually, that's
like
already
VR
happening in
arcade,
China.
Yeah.
They got VR arcades
Not where I live.
in the Orient. You got to go to China, man.
China.
I'm not making this shit up. There's a thing going on.
I
there.
could take a
All the
business
cool stuff's
expense
in
in China.
China.
Hung Wang, I believe, is the name of the company that like owns all these like this chain of like VR arcades.
Seriously? Hong Wang?
Yeah, man. Hung Wang. Google it.
I'm not going to Google Hong Wang. No, thank
Put
you.
a safe search on.
You gotta put exactly because Hung Wang VR is just terrifying.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just a lot of flop in your face. Or any final thoughts on Sony?
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about Zelda.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Nintendo.
What else? Was that everything?
I was actually gonna say not the PlayStation. I meant to say Resident Evil 7. Like it looked alright.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of like
Oh.
took things from like Layers of Fear and PT.
It's PT.
Yeah.
I don't
Capcom
think it should
said,
be
"Hey,
first person, though.
Konami's not making PT. We'll make it. Don't worry, guys. We got
20
you."
games in, and this is the first time that Resident Evil has been first person.
I know.
That's not on
And
rails.
This is the first time.
I think
This is the
it's-
first time in a long time that it's been scary.
Right.
I
But
think
it could
it's
be
gonna-
scary third person.
I'm glad they're taking a new direction
Eh.
with this because Resident Evil 6 wasn't very good. Revelations
No,
was
Resident Evil
okay.
5 wasn't very good.
But Justin, you forget. If it's not in first person, you can't make it in VR. Aha!
Oh, right. Of course. Freaking VR.
VR in third person would just be weird.
There are some third person VR games, actually. You just move the camera. That's it.
That seems stupid and weird.
Right? But no,
Anyway,
it's like
sorry,
that's
Tom, what
the
were you
point. It's like VR is being shoehorned into every experience. Like freaking Final Fantasy 15 has a VR.
Oh yeah,
Why?
yeah, that's pointless.
That looks
That's
really
pointless.
bad.
I'm sorry.
That looks really
That's
bad.
pointless.
But like to alter the entire like perspective of a game just
It's
to
not.
fit VR
It's not
into it
the.
seems
It's
dumb.
not the full. It's not the full game. It doesn't have it. It's just the experience that has it.
No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about Final Fantasy, or I'm talking about Resident Evil 7.
You said Final Fantasy.
I know. I went back to Resident Evil 7 when I
Okay.
started
Yeah, but
talking
Resident
about
Evil,
This is all
Resident
over the
Evil 2,
place.
like
Yeah, it is.
as a first-person game, as a game that's even like going to console as first-person, it makes sense that you would put it in VR. A game like Final Fantasy, yeah, like that's just a gimmick.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like they made it first person for VR.
I feel like they made it first-person because PT was a fucking like minefield of excitement and enjoyment.
Yeah, but there's been first person horror games for as long as Resident Evil has been around, and they've always stuck by third person. And made it
So?
work until 4, or until 5, really. Because, like, 4 was awesome. Everything after 4 has been crap.
Yeah, but not every game needs to stay the same forever just because you say so.
I'm not saying that. I mean, 1 through, what was it, 1 through 3? Were, like, that kind of, static camera angle type. And then 4 was, like, dynamic camera angle, and it was really good.
Yeah.
That was a change.
Yeah, but it
But
wasn't
then
a
5 and
huge
6 made it more,
change.
like, action-oriented.
5 was
they took the
fine.
wrong
It was
parts
just an
of 4
action
and
game.
moved on.
That's all. It wasn't.
Yeah, 5 was just an okay action game.
Yeah, it was
Right.
fun with like.
If they had
co-op.
taken what worked about 4 and used that appropriately through the rest of the series, it would have been fine. The perspective wasn't the issue.
So wait, so they changed the thing that was Resident Evil like when they made 4, and that was okay with you, but making the jump to first person is somehow wrong?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I think
Because
they need to do
I'm
something
saying,
different with it. Like there's
Yeah.
been 7 Resident Evil games, or like actually a lot more, and I think they need to do something different to change it up, and might as well test it out with a mainline game. It might be
see,
good.
that's my issue, is it's a mainline game. Like, if it was a spin-off
it-
or something, that's fine, because it's not, like, a numbered series. I have that same issue with, like, Final Fantasy, where, I know I'm jumping again, but, like, where 11 and 14 are both MMOs, but they're mainline numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not really, like, mainline games. They're
My problem
kind
with
of
that is that I can
offshoots.
never beat those games, so like I can't say I beat everyone in the series.
Exactly. That bothers me. When it, like, they don't fit the number system. when something is like completely different, it doesn't feel like it belongs as a number. In a
Get out of
This is
here! You don't
I
belong
think it's
here.
I feel like it's 2 against 1 on Resident Evil 7 being pretty okay.
I think it
So
looks
obviously
okay.
you're both wrong.
Exactly. That's how numbers work.
No, let us know in the comments how you feel about Resident Evil 7 specifically.
The only reason they
Who cares
called it
about the
7.
rest of E3?
The
Just
only reason they
Resident
called
Evil
it 7 is because they wanted to make the pun with the name. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Pun.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 7.
Like the
when they
evil.
put the 5 and
The
the
V and the 2 eyes,
Yeah.
in the place of the where it fits in the word evil.
That's
That
it.
was whatever. That was fun.
That's the only reason they
You
did
guys
it.
just well, Justin.
But
at
that
least
would make
is
more
just
sense
being
for 6.
stupid.
Yeah, they didn't figure it out then. That's why. Like, we missed this
still
huge
doesn't work.
opportunity.
Right. Instead, the
Son of
draft
a
blowjob for 6. Because that was better.
Oh, that was great. All right, moving on. Nintendo
Yeah.
time.
Zelda
big
conference. Featuring
It was good. I'm excited. I'm excited about Zelda, finally.
I will say, like, they opened really strongly with that awesome trailer. Like, it made me a little emotional, as a longtime Zelda fan. Of course, you guys should expect that. And then they just killed the momentum with the Pokemon stuff.
Oh my
It's like,
god.
here's this awesome Zelda trailer.
and that was
then
like,
20
it's
minutes
like-
of Pokemon footage.
It was like an hour.
Wow, more Pokemon. Never seen this before.
I was ripping
Yeah.
out my beard. I was like, ah!
Oh yeah, no, I tuned right out when they started talking about Pokemon. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. I know what to expect now with Pokemon.
I was watching a stream with some commentators, and they straight up just left when Pokemon came on. It was
Yeah, like, there's
hilarious.
some good information there, but like you don't open with an awesome trailer and then just go to like translated.
Pokemon.
Like that was so slow. They had to talk
yeah.
and then translate it to the people, and then they translated it back to the commentators, and like it just
Oh yeah,
killed
was
it.
Rough. I'll be honest. I didn't actually watch a lot of the Nintendo conference because I kind of tuned out. Like I watched maybe like 10 minutes of Zelda stuff, and I was like, okay, you know what? I think I know what to expect with this one. I'm not gonna I can't watch these guys not being funny and just like spoiling the first like 3 hours of the game for me.
There was a lot of information, which I was eating it up, but like I
Which
can
is-
understand.
I mean, that's what people want, but it's
because
like
they didn't
a
do
lot of that
anything like
information-
story or characters or anything. It was literally
No,
just
it's all-
like the opening area devoid of personality.
Exactly.
but
It's like
it
you
was
could
still
just
a
release
lot of
that as a
information.
playable demo.
Yeah, like it was. I mean, it was all of the first 4 shrines you go into, which aren't dungeons, but it's like where
No.
you get basically your upgrades, and
Yeah,
they
exactly.
covered all
That's-
of those, and then a few of the others without the upgrades that you get in them, but still covering the puzzles and stuff. Like they gave away a
that's
little
all
bit
stuff
too
that
much
you
for a
wanna
game that's not
figure
coming
out
out for
on
6
your
months.
own, right?
What I couldn't
I don't
hear
know.
you
It
were
just
talking
seems
over
really
me,
lame to me.
and you were still talking over me.
Sorry. Can't get a goddamn word in edgewise because Justin won't shut the fuck up about Zelda.
Oh no, it's not just my video or anything.
It's mine. I'm taking it over.
So me and Zero were talking on Twitter a little bit about what's the backstory of this place, and we were looking at. I just saw like a theory on Twitter that this is taking place in the timeline where Zelda dies. Not Zelda. Link dies in
Get out of here.
the Hero
Get out
time,
of here.
It takes place,
and then
after
they
Wind
bring him
Waker.
back to life with the Resurrection Shrine. So
Yeah.
Which I will say, I do like
make
that
sense.
theory. Shout out to Island Arcade for coming up with that. I don't think you came up with it, but you told me about it, so whatever. Shout out anyway. But I don't think it fits the timeline correctly, because it really feels like an extension of Skyward Sword. Like the tech, the graphical style, the overall atmosphere of the game feels like it's basically a direct sequel to Skyward Sword. Like, they've come down, they've established Hyrule, and then like maybe 100 years pass, and this new world that they've created is like
they fucked it up.
desolated. Yeah. And so they kind of like resurrect Link, the only hero they know at that point.
No, but think
to help.
about it. In if this is taking place after Wind Waker, that means it would have to be taking place after Spirit Tracks, and in Spirit Tracks, that like saw the advent of the locomotive, so it sort of makes sense that they just like kept figuring out new technologies.
And I do get that, but think about Skyward Sword with like the tech they had, in
But
the
that was
desert and
Lost
stuff.
Tech, remember?
Yeah. But this looks like that lost tech was found and used over 100 years.
Or maybe it's just like kind of coming back. Maybe it was still lost. Like if it was lost, then it would have been buried under the sea with everything else. So if it's like just being reactivated now,
well, because like the guardians that are around all the shrines and stuff, like they look ripped straight out of Skyward Sword. And like there's a lot of the light stones that look like those those time stones that you could activate to create the.
I see where Zero's coming from. Like it does have the aesthetics of it.
But the Korok were there, so it like
that was
yeah.
I mean, to an extent, there's always just elements that don't fit, just because Nintendo's like, you know what, I like this thing, I'm gonna.
And the Zelda timeline is kind of made up anyways, right? Come on.
I was super impressed with it because I knew they were talking about some open world stuff and like how it was gonna be different, but like it felt like a totally different game, but it made sense. That's what was cool.
You know what it was? It's like it looked like Skyrim, but it felt like Zelda.
Yeah, and he can jump.
Like, finally. Well, not finally. I said someone in the office said that too. Like, oh, finally. I'm like, Zelda 2.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you want to get technical, Link's Awakening Link's Awakening and the Oracle of Ages and Seasons.
If you get the Rock's Feather,
but that doesn't count.
Yeah, Rock's Feather.
It's an item that makes him jump.
Yeah, I saw this and I thought it looked just like Kingdoms of Amalur, and I really liked that game. So I'm like, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah, like the fact that he can climb on stuff and parasail, like the world is literally your oyster in this game. It looks like an open world gamer's dream.
I like the loot. The loot aspect will be really cool and interesting. Just I want an option to turn off that sound every time you pick up an item though, because that's going to be annoying.
I think that's only the first time you pick it up, isn't it?
No, it keeps going. Even when you open up a chest and get loot and stuff like that, it happens forever. It's like Skyward Sword all over again.
Okay, well.
I know it only does the description stuff like once now. They're trying to do that, which is cool.
I assumed the sound went with the description. But. Yeah, I mean, the fact that like you just stumble across things and then go through them, like the shrines and stuff, they glow so you can see them, from high vantage points, mark them, and then go over there. But like you can just wander around and screw around if you want.
I like that there's a like stealth mechanic too.
Yeah.
I'm wondering and hoping that they'll do some like stealth mechanics. Like if you actually like sneak attack someone, it's like an instant kill or like more damage that way.
Creep up behind someone and slit their throat.
Like
yeah, you imagine. It's a real gritty Zelda. Like he said, it was a lot darker this time around.
Yeah. Like if you throw your weapon, it's a critical hit guaranteed. If you sneak up on someone and like your noise gauge doesn't alert them, which I like the question mark and the exclamation point, but then you get like a first hit without them knowing you're there, things like that.
Yeah, that would be cool because like I do always sort of tend to play like more stealth based characters. So if this Zelda is giving me the freedom to create the kind of character I want to play as, I'll probably be like a sneaky Link. And if they're actually going to include mechanics so it's not just like sort of like hollow and it's like, oh, you can sneak, but combat still plays out the same, like then like I'll be really excited for it.
But no, like the equipment system, like the dynamic, clothing and weapons and like the the open world, the traversal mechanics, the friggin' like spells, like that magnesis thing we can like move metal around and just like fling it at enemies, and it's like there's so many cool things, just like open up so many options in the game.
I think it would have been better if they just gave Link a giant magnet.
That's what it looks like. I mean, it's literally just like
cartoony magnet,
like a Green Lantern magnet.
Yeah,
it's a construct.
I am super stoked for, and of course because it's me of all people, the amiibo functionality.
That was surprising too.
Wolf Link,
yeah.
What an amazing justification for buying Twilight Princess HD. Like I'm gonna be sneaking around in the overbrush with a little wolf beside me.
That's gonna be dope as hell, man. That's awesome.
Except that means I have to actually do like the Cave of Shadows or whatever now.
You know what? I'm thinking now, like maybe Anuma played Metal Gear Solid 5 because you get a wolf.
Yeah,
you have stealth, open world. He just played Metal Gear Solid 5 and made Zelda. Like,
yeah, he obviously made this in the last year since that game's been out.
he starts playing Metal Gear Solid and his eyes just like wide and his mouth opens.
I have an idea.
This is it. Zelda.
But no, it looks legit.
I was actually, but I don't know. because I was a little bummed that they didn't actually, or they confirmed that there is no female Link, and that did upset me a little bit because I was like, you know what, guys, if you were gonna make this big, like, it's your own adventure, total freedom, that kind of stuff, like, and make it more like a Western RPG, then getting to choose your gender, it would have been like a really bold move that Nintendo needs. It would have been amazing PR for Nintendo, and it's just like, I mean, there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you literally just, like, you start in a stasis chamber and then get up and explore the world. Like, how difficult would it be to include a gender swap?
Yeah, it'd be nice, but, like, I honestly wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't either. But no, I really think the Zelda conference was, like, completely biased, the best part of E3.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a conference, it's just a stream.
Whatever.
It's a show.
It was
No, it was good. It was
hours
they needed to show
of new
Zelda.
information. A lot of the other conferences
really
were
did.
like, here's another look at something you've already seen. Here's a new trailer for a game we just showed a trailer for a month ago. Like, this is all, like, almost all new information. And, like, in-depth information on something that everyone's been waiting anxiously for. It was what E3 should be about.
E3 did just straight up show the same trailer for Battlefield 1, like, in their conference and then again at Microsoft.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there was, like... It did a few times.
So you're right, Justin. Like, they actually came out the gate with a ton of information and said, like, don't worry, guys. Like, here's... Like, if you want to look at all this game, here it is. Like, we have it.
Yeah, I was watching it for hours, and there was very little
Last
overlap.
Guardian stuff.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah. No one really cares. They're just
that.
like, give it to us already.
Yeah. I mean, and it was so funny because, like, here I am sitting, like, being a sarcastic dick on Twitter, like, oh, Last Guardian, guys, get ready to see this same trailer again next year. And then they show the release date, and I'm like, well, don't I feel like a dick?
Well, you won't until when they push it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine? They're going to push it. Sorry, guys. We need to push it back another 3 years.
What about Scalebound? Another one's coming to PC.
Scalebound looked awesome.
Really?
Scalebound looked fun as hell, and I'm actually excited to play it.
I just like dragons, so it wins for me.
Oh, who doesn't like dragons?
It just looks like another one of those generic, like, third-person action games. Like,
yeah,
but
what's your point?
dragons.
and
It's the Devil May Cry we're not going to get for another 5 years,
and
so
EDM,
let's just enjoy it.
And headphones, and...
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with this yet.
Maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
Maybe.
They're fighting a giant-ass crab, turning into dragons, getting on dragons, throwing swords, putting on headphones, listening to sick beats. I mean, that's what I would do if I was fighting a giant crab. I'd be like, where are my headphones? I gotta put on my jams.
And then after they put on those headphones, they listen to the sweet Afrojack Final Fantasy 15 trailer.
I'm actually really hoping that, like, if you put the headphones on and they do, like, some tie-in with, like music apps and shit, that you can actually listen to your own music in those segments, because I would love to put on some, like, Kenny G or something and just fight a monster.
This game will be sponsored by Beats and Tidal.
Ugh.
Nice. Oh,
Tidal isn't even
Beats.
sponsored by Tidal anymore.
Don't tell Jay-Z that. Come on.
Let's wrap this all up. Final
Yes.
thoughts on E3 as an event. Both of you.
Tom, you can go first.
I think it was a solid E3. There was a lot of leaks, so a lot of, like, stuff happened before E3, and
Yeah.
it just met expectations. Like, it was a decent E3. We saw a lot of cool games. Some VR stuff kind of fell flat, but I think it was good all over.
It's good all
Yeah, I definitely echo a lot of those sentiments. The leaks definitely did take the wind out of a lot of sales, but at the same time, like, there was certainly enough on the deck that, like, it actually got me excited for a lot of stuff. And I feel like last year, I went into E3 cynical, because after, like, a lot of the stuff that got released last year, it was a lot of them were very, like, letdownish. So I was trying not to get hurt, but, you know, like, Zelda looks really great. I'm excited for new stuff. Like, I'm excited to see Kojima back on the scene. Like, there looks like Horizon Zero Dawn looks amazing.
Yep.
So, like, you know what I mean? So, like, a lot of gameplay, like, from a lot of these really interesting games that I'm actually been, like, keeping an eye on. So I'm being very optimistic for the future of gaming for this, at least this year at least.
Yeah, it's not all remasters and generic sequels, so that's kind of cool. There's a lot of remastered legendary sequels, but still.
Yeah, there's enough to balance it out.
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of feel
sequels.
similarly. Like, I think the reason I say that, the Zelda conference won is because, like, pretty much everything else is leaked in advance. Whereas, like, all the Zelda information, while it was only one game that they talked about, was new, like, really good information. And, like, it kept my interest way more than anything else did. Again, partially because I'm a Zelda fanboy. But, like, a lot of the E3 stuff was leaked pre-E3, and so there wasn't really anything else to show other than, like, here's more of the stuff that you already know. And that's not that great.
When I was doing my pre-E3 podcast, the trailer for Titanfall 2 actually, like, leaked, and we all saw it while we were podcasting. Yeah.
Well, now we know what we're going to expect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, once the surprise is sort of, like, gone, it's sort of like, oh, well. Like, maybe if you hold on to the hope that there was something more than just the trailer, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff, like, yeah, like, it was straight up just given away before the conference, so. But, like I said, there's a lot to look forward to, and it's going to be a good year.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's way more that I'm excited about than I expected to be. Because I assumed it'd just be, like, more, generic stuff like Call of Duty, Battlefield, like the things that had already been leaked. But there were some new original titles that I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. And then, like, the Xbox, Play Anywhere type stuff was really cool. Because it's like, I can play some of these games I want. Mm-hmm. So, like, there were some genuine excitements, but it was all about Zelda for me.
I was a little upset that Nintendo didn't show more, because I was actually hoping, like, Zelda was going to be a big thing, but, like, I thought for sure they would talk a little bit about, like, Color Splash or Federation Force or, like, something, like, I guess that's it, really.
They announced a new Mario Party game.
Did they announce a new Mario Party?
Yeah, for 3DS.
Yeah, who cares?
Everyone moves together, apparently. Like everybody moves at the same time.
Yeah, no, Mario Party 2 was really good.
I don't know.
I'm a little disappointed that the PlayStation didn't show Neo. That's about it. Like, I would have liked to have seen something on that.
But they said they weren't going to be fair.
I know, but, like, I would have liked it.
You gotta keep some cards close to the vest.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible anymore.
It's true with the internet era.
But
yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure everyone's probably gotten their fill of all this information by now because, the internet. But thank you guys for joining me and sharing your thoughts on this event. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Zero, for having us on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be here. Beyond all better judgment.
It's not going to happen again, that's for sure. Don't even show yourself.
Maybe next time I will, just for you, buddy.
All right. So, if you guys want to say goodbye, I think we can end this off until next year.
Tom?
See you later, folks.
Goodbye.
Bye, all. A special collar has been created by Temptations, yes, the cat food company, that claims to be able to translate cat meows into human speech, but only with a deep British male's voice. And it's totally not just a gimmick to sell more cat products. Probably. While the product is most likely a gimmick, I still find the idea hilarious. As much as I talk to my cats, I'd be kind of terrified and probably offended if they talked back, though. I'm not sure I want to know what they say to me, actually. Or even think when I'm around.
I said you could pet me twice, and then I'm done. Piss off, human. I have an appointment with the Sunbeam. Oh yeah, that's right. Right there. That's the spot. Bitch, did I say you could quit?
Sleepy. Oh, good boy.
I just licked my butt. Can you tell?
Yeah, I think I'll just interpret the meows on my own, thanks.